are Billy Goat Tails. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gang. 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 We are Billy Goat Tails. We are Billy Goat Tails.
Welcome to Billy Goat Tales. I am the Biomex, Tex-Mex Biomex. What's going on? I know you're used to hearing from Crypto Billy. Sadly, he will not be with us today. He's having kidney stones that he's passing on his birthday at that. So he's not.
Ouch. Oh my goodness.
He's going to have a memorable birthday, and he sends his love, but we will get into it. So hello, what's going on, Redman? What's going on, Dave Digital? How are you gents doing this morning or this afternoon? Morning somewhere.
Man, I think we're doing better than Dave. I mean, I'm better than Billy. That doesn't sound fun, what he's going through. I don't think things are supposed to go through that direction where it's going through for Billy. So definitely our prayers are with him. We know that it's nothing serious. He's going to make it through everything. But man, it's going to be a wild ride while he's going through it. So we pray
it's not
that
his first rodeo with this. It's not his
Say
first
again?
rodeo with this, and
Right.
yeah, prayers out to Billy and happy birthday out to Billy as well.
Yeah,
So,
happy
Redman,
birthday,
what's going
Billy.
on?
Hey, happy Sunday to everybody. Happy birthday to Billy. And I hope you get better, bud. And I say what's up to the chat. Hola. That's another show. But anyways, back to you, Tony.
All right. Well, today we are going to get into a few different things, as our title suggests: Newsmax and tariffs. So Newsmax's IPO soared 735%, but tariffs are shaking crypto as well. And miners will miners survive the cost crunch, or is this deregulation dream come true? Well, we're going to dive in just a minute. And Bitcoin's hash rate has hit 972 EH per second. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that number is, but I'm sure Red Panda Mining or someone else could share with that what that is. But fees crashed 97%. Is this network power going to be a win, or is it a sign of adoption's stalling? So we'll unpack that as well. And PayPal's betting on Solana and Chainlink centralized custody's buzzkills, or can this spark an altcoin rally? Who knows? And then we're going to also talk about the SEC chairman comparison, Paul Atkins versus Gary Gensler. So Atkins pro crypto SEC could ignite a boom, but was Gensler's crackdown all wrong? Never know. We're going to weigh in on that in the future here today. Did you want to go ahead and say hi to the chat for us, Dave Digital?
Man, I couldn't wait to say hi to chat. First in chat today, we had Crypto Princess. So much love to you, Crypto Princess. Thank you for always showing up. We love what you're doing over there on your channel. Did we, I think the live stream, is that correct? Her first live stream is tomorrow. Maybe we can get that link into the chat. I'm not for sure of that, but I think somebody mentioned that it was on the 7th. So we look forward to that. If you haven't, if I'm not misspeaking, Crypto Princess, please correct me if I am wrong. I think we see Rashad in the chat. We see Jesse in the chat, as always. Givers Gain with Jesse. We appreciate you, Jesse, and all that you do. We see Blocky in the chat. Yo, Blocky says. Andrea in the chat with the wrench, saying happy birthday to Billy. Yes, happy birthday. Jesse saying happy back to Andy. We got Mike Volmer in the chat with the wrench. What did he say there? He said, hola, everyone. Came in for the like button and leaving for New York State right now. Get the out of New York finally. Let's go, Mike. All right. Everyone have a great day, he says. We have, let me see, who else do we have? Dixie Flatline in the chat saying, hola, fam. Looking forward to another great show. Alexandra G saying hi to everyone. She hopes everyone has a nice weekend. Let me see, what else do we have? I think that's most of our regulars in the chat. Of course, Tex-Mex, Biomex, Redman, and Jimmy all in the chat. And anybody? All set is in the chat saying hello to Trader Dave. We'll see how that works out. All set for sure. Dark Crash in the chat, of course, reminding everybody to drink more water. But I let you know backstage information on Dark Crash is he actually drinks milk. I don't know if you guys know that. It's not a conspiracy theory. I've seen the pictures. So hello to everybody. Hola, everybody. And let's get going. Back to you, Tex-Mex, Biomex. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom. What's going on, Jimmy Jim? So we said hello to the chat, but we don't want to miss out on saying hello to Jimmy Jim. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? It's been a busy day.
Well, thank you for
What you
being
been
with
doing,
us.
Jimmy?
I know you've been hustling.
Yeah, I had it was the boy's birthday weekend, so we had to go run through a card show, and we experienced a fiasco at McDonald's on the way home. So pretty sure I just set a world record for eating a 10-piece McNugget and a large fry, but
Let's go.
Was the
It's all good.
fiasco that they were out of the BTS sauce? Is that what it was?
Ice cream machines
it was
down.
a fiasco that the order was placed for pickup through the drive-through, but the drive-through line was out into the street. So I pulled in the parking lot and we went inside and they were like, "Oh no, we can't give it to you. It's a drive-through only." And I was like,
I've
"Bruh, I'm
experienced that
doing you a
before.
favor."
Yeah, that's wild.
Hey, that's why you got to go to Whataburger. They do it your way. Oh, that's
Jimmy, what's going on with
our?
our weather down here? I see you're in your hoodie. Man, it's freaking into April or middle of April, beginning of April, and we've got cold weather. What's going on?
About like the market
Yeah,
bottom
man.
dropped out.
This global warming, it's too cold for me.
Well, that's a good segue into what's next. Bubble time, right? We got ready for the bubbles there, Red Man?
Let's go. All right, guys. As you can see on the 1 hour, we've had pretty crazy morning. Bitcoin kind of fell through a bunch of support. Now it's hovering somewhere. It's hovering. We got 78,826. Started out at 79. It dropped. I think last night, this morning, I was looking at it. It was around 82, and the bottom fell out, came to 79, and now we're 78,826. So it's gonna be red, guys. As you know, Big Daddy falls, everything else falls. It's a sea of blood. Here's the daily. We got Pi 8%. We got EOS 3.1%. ZEC 2.3% on the weekly. We
Did you
got
say Pi's up? Was Pi up?
Pi is up.
8% on the day?
Pi is up
Where
8%.
are we
Look at
at
that
on Pi?
puppy.
What's the
We got a little
number on that?
68. Now it's
Ooh.
59 cents, and
Ooh.
it's up 2 on the ranking. Now it's 25. So Pi
Well,
is
Piper finally
making
got
its way.
his wish on that out of the top 10, out of the top 20.
Yeah. The monthly, not much has changed, right? We got a bunch of red. EOS continues to show green and strength. Wow, Dino Coin making a little showing here. He's up 22 places, up to 57 on the 1 to 100 ranking. That's pretty good. It's pretty good in a down month. Everything else is pretty much red, guys. Tony, I'm gonna send it over to you.
Thank you. Well, today I have the privilege of doing the market cap update. So let's get into it, Dave. All right. So trending coins today, we have on the top 5, we have ETH, Sol, ADA, Bitcoin, and Trump. All of them taking a little bit of a dive, as you can see here. And then on the fear and greed index, we're at pretty close to almost the extreme red on the fear. We're at 27. We're getting close to that bottom on the fear and greed index. I don't know what it was the last couple of days. Have you all been looking at it?
It's been in the
haven't paid
20s.
attention to it.
In the
But I
20s?
do know Buffett says that when there's greed, be fearful, right? And when there's fear, be greedy.
There you go.
So, and Trump keeps saying that same thing too. He keeps saying, "Look, I hear about all you guys over there selling and crying about it, but all my guys are buying. So, if you want to get rich, buy the dips."
There you go. And the market cap is at $2.53 trillion, down 4.61%. And here, let me go into the top 10 coins here. So the top 10 coins, Bitcoin, the Big Papa. I love it when you call me Big Papa. That's Bitcoin. That's there for Redman, as he said something like that earlier. Down at 78,944 now at the moment. On the 1 hour, it's down almost 1%. On the 7 day, it's down just over 4%, and same with the 24 hour. But as Dave said, when it dips, you might want to buy that dip. So it's not financial advice. That's your own opportunity to do your own research. Ethereum is at 1582 at the moment, down 12% on the week.
Ugh.
And on the hour, just over 2%. Tether doesn't really go anywhere, does it? Usually it shouldn't go anywhere. I know another stable coin that dropped a few years ago, and that was not ideal. And so
Luna.
we don't ever have
Luna.
Yeah, I know. I was referring to that, obviously. XRP at $1.96. Is it time to buy some XRP? We're down 8% on the week and just under 2% on the day. Just about all that red going on just about in all of our top 10. BNB at 552, USDC, another stable coin that really shouldn't go up and down that much. So thankfully it is not. And Solana at 106, down 15%. Maybe what we talk about later might give you some nod or some information for you to go and do your own research on with what we talked about earlier on the intro. Dogecoin at 15 cents roughly. Tron at 23 and Cardano at 57 cents. To me, that's a buy zone. At least that's for me, not financial advice. And
What was that a buy zone on? You looking at Tron, Tony?
I'm looking at Cardano, 57 cents.
Cardano, of course. I missed it. Yeah, of course, yeah. Cardano. I should have known. I think Face likes to buy Tron.
Does he? Well, Crypto Face, you're always welcome to join. I think we put the link in the chat for the stream. If anybody on the in the community wants to come up and join us on stream, we always invite you to do that. Even if you don't have a desktop setup, there's a mobile app for guests, so you can always do that and come on and have a discussion. We talked about it a little bit earlier, didn't we, Dave?
Yeah, as many of you know, because most of you were here from the beginning when we first started with X Spaces, the idea of Billy Goat Tales is really to involve the community. No matter what part of the community you are, whether you're a creator or a community member or just brand new to Bitcoin and crypto in general, or even if you're just here for the fun and the leadership and the other people in the chat. But we encourage you to take that link and to join us on stage. Even if you don't have a camera, that's okay. You can just come on by microphone. Even if you're new, that's okay. A lot of folks have got their beginning on Billy Goat Tales and moved on, and they're confident now speaking and doing that thing. So we're okay with anybody that's new, and we just encourage the conversation. And when you'll see that weekly, Billy will put out the teaser or whatever you call it on YouTube, to let you know that what the show's going to be about. And you can even research those topics too and bring your own perspective on any of those. So we definitely welcome community involvement. And so when you see that link in the chat, we invite you to click on it, and we're going to take a chance when you take a chance. So we're growing together, and we invite you guys to actually become a part of the show. And we want to hear everybody's opinions whenever you have an opportunity.
Indeed, indeed. And Wick's wife says, "Who are you people and what did you do with Billy?" Well, Wick's wife, sadly, Billy can't join us. He is celebrating his birthday, actually, though, not in a fun way. He's actually passing some kidney stones today, fam. So he said much apologies. He wants to send his love to you all, and he wishes he could be here with you, even on his birthday. Still would love to be able to celebrate with you, but he's been struggling with this for a few hours since last night, and he wanted to apologize, but he is always with us in spirit, and Billy sends his love. So there you go, Wick's wife. That's from the intro earlier, and also sharing that with you now. And also DDT is not going to be with us today, sharing the charts, and that's one of those things that Dave was kind of mentioning. If you guys want to come up here and just discuss, because we're not providing financial advice, and nobody else who would jump up here would be either, but you're welcome to come join us on the YouTube stage, just like you have in the past on that.
So Tony, some would say Billy's getting stoned on his birthday.
Oh. I'm sure have a chuckle. I don't know if it's going to hurt when he does, though. So hopefully not. Hopefully, fears and thoughts out to you, Billy. Of course, I'm sure Billy's a little concerned at where this stream is going to go, but we're going to keep it in line. We're going to keep it in check. We might have a little bit more humor. That's one way or the other, but we'll try to keep it out of being off the PG scale. So one thing I want to share, I mean, I know that Billy typically covers on the coin market cap. We typically talk about all crypto, but you know that I love talking about NFT. So I just thought it'd be fun to go through the NFT portion of the coin market cap. Bored Ape Yacht Club is still the number 1 king daddy as far as NFTs. Although you can see the volume there, the estimated market cap, and the floor price is 14.55 ETH. Man, that is a big drop. I think at least 90% down from the top, probably more than 90% down from the top of where they were. But it looks like there's a 16% rise in the price of volume on those, and 8% rise in the price. It's gone from 14.55. The average price is right around 17, almost 17 ETH. And then we have the Pudgy Penguins. I actually have a Pudgy Penguin stuffed animal. It's obviously not in my green screen, but thank you, Andrea, who sent me a Pudgy Penguin. I actually have 2 of them. And so thank you for that. I have those stuffies, and I've got them in my shelves. Maybe I should change my background to that. But right now, Tony the Brick right here. I've got the bricks behind me. Then we got Doodles and Little Pudgies and Milady and Azuki and Mutant Ape Yacht Club. So all of these primarily, I think, are on the ETH chain. Maybe next week I'll bring in some Cardano NFTs, because obviously they're not going to be represented here. A lot of them on the Cardano or other chains may not be. So,
And Tony,
all these.
can you put a poll up and check the chat? What do they think? Are NFTs going to come back, or are they done?
Yeah, I'll do that in just a second, because I have to do that from the YouTube channel itself. But once I pull this down, I think that's good. What do you all think? I mean, even if in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you think NFTs have a life to go, if they're going to come back in some fashion or form. 2 in the chat if you're like, what in the heck? Why am I paying for a JPEG? So yeah. And on the coin market cap, we're talking about categories. Their memes are down 7%. Solana ecosystems down 6%. We have AI and big data down 6%. Real world assets, so just real world assets as far as the crypto, are down 8%. Of course, we know that everything's kind of tanking, but did you know that mobile mining is up 10%, and Pi is that largest mover at the moment? Not financial advice, just letting you all know some of that data. So I'm going to stop sharing this here at the moment, and we can get into the next part of this segment that we're going to hit off to. What do we got next, Dave?
I think you were going to tell us about the changes that were made to Red's book, and then Red can go into a little bit about it.
Sure thing. So we made some changes, slight changes. There was a little bit of an error on part of the book. As you know, we're learning, we're doing it ourselves now, creating the children's books, doing all the publishing and the stuff in-house. And so the first time around we hired somebody. This time around we're doing it ourselves, and so there was a minor change. So I had to unpublish the book and then republish it. So it should be back on the Amazon shelves in the next couple of days. Just have to wait for the review time to go, and I apologize for that delay, but thank you all for your support. Redman, you want to tell us a little bit more about the book?
Yeah, let's drop this short promo real quick, and then we'll look at what Red has to say about the book.
Yeah, so a big thank you to Wick's wife for putting the link in the chat for you guys. If you have kids at home ages 4 to 14, or even adults you want to explain crypto to, this is a great book to kind of break the ice and get the conversation started. It gives you the do's and don'ts in crypto, more do's though than don'ts. Definitely go check that out if you are trying to figure out a way to talk to the younger generation, because as we know, crypto can seem like it's very complex, but really it's not when you think about it. And it has some good morals as far as doing your own research and getting familiar with the product, the investment vehicles that you're using to make money for the long run. And of course, it's about Bitcoin, the big daddy Bitcoin. So I just thought it was a good way that parents could sit down with their kids and teach them something different. And so this book kind of brings that to life for you guys.
Red, you've been hitting the circuit out in the crypto scene talking about the book. Tell us, as a new creator, as a first-time author, as Red Man, what have you learned? What's been neat about it, and what has been scary about it?
Yeah, so the biggest thing I think, talking about the book is knowing what to say with the book and then what I want to really highlight. And what I'm trying to do with this book is bring awareness to proper investment techniques, right? And kind of get away from the crypto casino that has kind of, you know, taken people by surprise. And I think the best way to do that is to start with the kids, to start with the kids, to instill some good behaviors. That way, when they are ready to invest, they can do it in a responsible way, instead of just putting their hard-earned money into a meme coin and expecting a 1000x. So
Have you had any scary moments when you got stuck
all the time.
when you were doing the interviews? Yeah.
all the time, man. I think every time I go on to talk about the book, I'm always nervous, but it's getting easier to talk about it. It's getting easier to do these shows and really hit the points that I want to hit, that I feel are important, that the BGT community needs to hear, and other people for that matter, because I know we're streaming on just more than one platform now. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. My big thing
Yeah.
is,
Go ahead.
if you read the book and you like the book, or if you don't like the book, go on Amazon and leave a review. And that will help us get the word out. It will help us to help more people, to become a bigger part of the algo on Amazon. Would be a good thing.
Were there any favorite parts so far of you going on the tour that, maybe how a creator treated you, or how welcoming somebody was, or a
Oh,
question that somebody asked? Was there a favorite favorite part that you've had?
I'll tell you what, the energy is different on each show, which is what I really appreciated about it. When I was on with Crypto Princess, it was more like a one-on-one type deal, getting to know kind of the backstory of Redman, and then on top of that, I was able to hit on all the 10 cornerstones that BGT was founded on. And so that doing that kind of stuff, is really exciting for me, and it was a good interview. Now, totally different than some other interviews, right? So when I was on Kelly's show, Kelly has a lot of energy. Kelly is like, he's talking fast, he's yelling, he's excited about stuff. Got me all excited, got me full of FOMO. I was hyped up after that stream. I was ready to go work out. You know what I mean? And that's Kelly, dude. I love that about Kelly. It was different on Drew's show. On Drew's show, it was more laid back, and I was able to hit the points. And then on top of that, we had a Bitcoin guy there. Bitcoin IRA was there. One of the founders of that company were there, so he was talking about Bitcoin. Then he was talking about his personal experiences, and I think that's what makes all this kind of original, right? Is you're able to make it a personal experience instead of, hey, go buy this book and teach your kids and then everything's cool. No, this book has a sentimental value to me, because I just remember when I was writing, I remember back in the days when Dad used to put us to sleep and used to tell us a story before we'd go to sleep. And I would love to be able to, make that come to fruition in some other little kid's life, where the parents can actually sit down and do some teaching, because
Yeah.
when kids ask you about what Bitcoin is, you better have an answer for them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just
I
price.
tell you, one of my favorite parts of your interview with Crypto Princess. First of all, I found out that you were a big jock. And then we found out that she didn't know what a jock was. So then you described to her what a jock. I think that was a beautiful moment. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the language barrier, right? Because she's from the UK and I'm from the United States, and we have total different slang for everything. And jock, to me, it's not a bad word. To some people, I guess it could be, classified as a bad thing, but I don't have a negative connotation with it. I was raised in a sports family. We are all about sports, but that doesn't mean we can't think for ourselves. You know, that doesn't mean that we're not self-starters, that we're not looking to improve ourselves every single day. It just means that we love sports and we love the camaraderie, like on the sports teams that we played on, you know?
Yeah.
And so kids should experience that stuff. She should experience touching grass and getting to know people and finding out what's right and what's wrong. You know, that's how you do it in the public school system.
Well, speaking of touching grass, or maybe not touching grass, maybe touching concrete. If you bring a copy of Red's book to the Bitcoin conference, the convention, you can get a pic with us holding your book, put them on the wheel, and we'll put those on the wheel for a drawing. So, you know, come join us at the Bitcoin conference. We know that we have one ticket to give away to the Bitcoin conference. So we're going to do that drawing on April 15th. And yeah, man, it's been a great journey, Red. I got to look at the book, obviously, in the back end as I was helping to publish it. You did a great job with that. And, and I've loved the interviews that you've done. I put a link in the chat. If people want to go look at all of those, instead of having to search every channel, we have a BGT guest appearances playlist on our channel, and you'll be able to click and go and watch all of Red's interviews and check some of those out too. So we try to make it easy for you to find the content and find out where they are, and that'll link you to obviously friends of the channel and their channels as well. So you did a great job, Red, on your appearances.
Appreciate that, guys.
Did do a good job. And you were talking about your dad when he would read you books when you were going to bed. And I look forward to that. That brings us also into our next, what we're going to talk about next, because I think Billy has told us, right, guys, in the back end, that he's going to read the books to us when we're at the getaway at Weekend at Billy's, right? Whenever we're all gathered around in our pajamas, Billy's going to read the books to us, right?
You might be dropping some alpha. Maybe, I know I've been gone a couple of weeks, but you might be dropping alpha, and maybe you're putting Billy.
I think I heard that, but I'm old, so sometimes I get things confused.
Dave is coming with the heat right now. Yeah, let's do it. I'm down, dude. Everybody in pajamas. That's awesome. Next to the fire. That'd be cool.
So let's get ready. Then we'll talk a little bit about the Weekend of Billy.
All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Weekend at Billy's. We're going to be going to the Fall for Greenville, which is right here on the screen. The Fall for Greenville on Saturday. We're going to be going to that. Whoever gets drawn from that and comes out to on the trip with us, it's in October. Whoever comes out there, we're going to go and enjoy this. And Billy always says it's for foodies, so we're going to go to this foodie event. I've been looking to see what the music lineup is. They still don't have it out yet. Maybe it's just going to be a surprise, but I'm sure we'll have a great time. And then see what else. I think I was trying to pull up some pictures of Lake Hartwell. Maybe I'll do that next week and see if you can look to see Lake Hartwell. We're going to be staying on a cabin there. I'm pretty sure we're going to have access to water, being on the water and boating and all that type of stuff. And now I'm hearing about some ghost stories and reading some books in our jammies with Crypto Billy.
What, did you say pajayjays, right? You did.
That's what I call them.
With a P, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that P was not another letter of the alphabet.
Pajamas, pajayjays. Yes.
Okay, just making sure there. Yeah, so that's going to be fun, don't you think, guys? To finally get together with some of the community members in real life, hang out with you guys in real life, eat together, enjoy time together, go on the lake, do man stuff together or woman stuff or whatever you want to call it. But I think that's going to be exciting. I don't know if we've talked about how excited each one of us are, but I'm pretty excited about the trip coming up.
Enjoy a little grape juice. So I'm going to
sure exactly what that means again, but okay.
Well, some vino. Tony the Brick would share that with you. So how do you get entered? Well, if you want to get entered, you got to go to our website, billygoattails.io. And you go over here, and you might not have the more screen, but because I've got it collapsed, the screen collapsed, I have to click NFT mint info, and you can go to the official mint site here. You go, if you haven't already, and if you mint one of the Easter eggs, what does that mean? Well, there's a percent chance, and you can see it right here. So the percent of Easter eggs. So if you're to get cover one, there's a 10% chance. So there's 12 Easter eggs for cover one. There's 12 also for cover two, et cetera, et cetera. There's 10 for cover three. And so I don't have a question. the little thing was chat was popping up. So if you are able to mint one of the Easter eggs, or you already have them, we're going to be doing a drawing on April 15th. And that we're going to spin the wheel, and one Easter egg holder will get, all they have to do is get to the to Lake Hartwell, or get close to Greenville, wherever you're flying into. We'll pick you up and we'll have you there for the weekend with us. And obviously we found out that now we're going to getting a book story time with Crypto Billy. So
Yeah.
that's all I have to share.
And Red, did you say that you were the one doing the foot massages, or?
Oh, I'm down, man. I'm a giver.
Oh boy,
I'm not sure what the gain in on that is, but hey.
Jimmy, where are we going with this? I think we might need to switch and say hi to Chad or something. I don't know where this is going now.
Let's
Let's
refresh.
go back into chat. We saw a couple more people that came in.
I'll let you pull up who's in chat. I'm going to go over our poll. I'm going to end the poll. So we said earlier, what do you think NFTs will do in the next few years? And I added some other comical entries. The winner is a tie between They Never Left and Going to Zero. So we got some Going to Zero folks, and that's fine. They have a big upside. It's 21%. NFTs are my life, 21%. But They Never Left or Going to Zero. So you can see that NFTs, obviously, and not only NFTs, but crypto sometimes have the thoughts. And even those that are crypto enthusiasts, maybe not always big fans of NFTs. And that's okay. We love you anyways. I know that I'm a big NFT guy, but there's been a lot that maybe don't really have that much functionality. And I really try to jump into ones that do have an actual use and purpose. So,
Jimmy,
all right, who's in chat, Dave?
Over there?
What's that?
I was just checking if you're fully functional. All systems go.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to say hi to chat, or you want me to say hi to chat?
I'll do it. That's okay. I kind of missed the first one, so I don't know who we've called out.
I was gonna,
shouted out.
I was gonna start with Jay Violet and Crypto Princess saying goodnight.
Oh, okay. Yep. And then who else we got here? We got username. We got Wick's wife. Of course, Alexandra G. She's always here. We appreciate you. And I think Trade Intuition and Kate Diggity popped in here.
Yeah.
And then our boy Jesse, who's always here. And let's see.
Chat.
All set. And I think that no, there's some more. Oh, look, it's Billy.
And Billy.
Uh-oh.
And
all right, change your plans, guys. Change your plans. Back on script.
Yep. And we got Harp, and we got Jay Violet from Australia. I don't know if y'all know, but on the motivational mindset, we've already put out a video from Andrea. That was on one of our motivational mindsets, the one that started with snow. The tail end of that video has some of Andrea's local driving videos. And Jay Violet shared with us one that maybe you thought we were turning the wrong direction, driving the wrong side of the road. No, actually, Jay Violet drives on the other side of the road because she's in Australia. So just similar to Europe. She drives on the left side. And so we put out one video that had Jay Violet's driving scene. So if you guys want to do that, you can jump in Discord, open up a ticket, and then I'll be able to give you the access to maybe share a link or share videos. I really appreciate if they're landscape. That'd be best and the highest quality video you can shoot. But if you want us to include your driving videos on Motivational Mindset, I'd love to do that. So we've already had Jay Violet and Andrea. And of course, you've probably seen some of my videos. I've got this Billy Goat Tails hat on the dash, and I do that sometimes as well. I've taken videos out in El Paso, on the way to El Paso. I've done them all through San Antonio. Billy's given us some videos from California and all around. I'd love to see personally all 50 states and how many countries we can have videos of driving. So I know that's a little bit off script, but as we say hello to everyone, thought we'd do that. So what's next, guys? Brother. I think it's time for Big Daddy Bitcoin charts. What do you think, Dave? Time for Big Daddy Bitcoin charts. We don't have DDT with us. And as we said earlier, if anybody wants to come talk charts or talk crypto with us as we talk on our topics, if you want to jump in with us, there is a link that I can put out again into the chat with the StreamYard link. If you want to jump in, once you click on the link, it'll take you to an app the StreamYard app as a guest. If you want to join us, you can do that, right, Dave? That's what we talked about doing that earlier on. And we've had a few people like DDT who can't be with us today, and some others jump in. So, fam, if you want to jump in, feel free to do it. I'm going to put out the link right now as Dave gets ready to show his Bitcoin chart.
So we were talking a little bit before the stream of how low can we go? And so we mentioned once before on the stream that because of the show that Lunar Beaches Crypto did, he was talking about that the price had never gone below the price that it was on election day. So November 5th, on any presidential election year, the price had never dipped below that level before. And that level is right around 69,390, something like that, 394, something like that. So before the stream, we were wondering, well, how low can we go? So if that holds true, we're looking at that would make the whole range of the 70s fair game. And us being at 79,000 right now, we've already kind of broke into that. So we were just, doing simple TA on it a little bit earlier. And if you take the old range that we have, and I know this chat is familiar with ranges. So you just take the old range that we have, right, that we were in here, the range, in the 50s to the 70s, basically. And you look at the value area high on that, it's right around 70K. Okay, so that puts us really close to that high on November 5th, or with the price that we were on November 5th. Okay, and so then we pulled a couple fibs to see where we could get. And if you take that whole move, from the bottom of this move to the very tippy top where we were at here, that puts your point of control or your golden pocket right here. So the 65618, that puts it right here, which is also confluent with the very tippy top of that range. So we all know that price action oftentimes will do just that. It'll break out, right? On all the time frames you've seen this. It'll break out, then it'll come back and retest where it broke out. And so we have the confluence of the golden pocket there, and then we have the confluence of that value area high there. Now we could go lower, of course, just if we look down a little bit lower, of course, that's a 786. And then we do have that weekly naked POC, but that's below the November 5th number. So that puts us at 67. So if we get down there, I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal, but that we're definitely changing history. We're breaking the historical patterns that we've seen before. So that's what we're looking at basically on the long term on Bitcoin. If we look at money flow, you can see we pull up the money flow that at the moment it's trending out still. Okay. Now we've got some upward momentum on the VWAP inside the market cipher B. So, and then we can just go down and take a look and see what the daily is doing and see what we can expect there. We'll start here on the money flow. So CryptoFace talks about these a lot. So this could be a sign that we may get some sort of temporary relief. He talks about the inverse head and shoulders or any head and shoulders pattern inside of momentum that they really hit a lot. And once he said that, I started paying attention, and they do. So let's make that a little bit bigger so I can see. So you've got the money flow here coming back out. You've got VWAP on the market cipher B is oversold or really close to oversold. So you may get a temporary bounce soon, but the money flow is steadily coming out on the daily. So as Frankie would say, any bounce that we do get would probably be a lackluster bounce.
Okay, that's fine.
So, and if you look at that candle, that's an engulfing in with just that much of it, Yeah, take that off so you can see the wick. And if you were to look, if you do patterns at all, and you were to look and call this any sort of a head and shoulders pattern, well, I mean, we're probably going to go fill that up. That's what I'm seeing. So, and that's on the longer term on Bitcoin. So, and money flow, just keep coming down, if you look at the 8-hour, I mean, we've bounced from here before, but you see it's just refilled up there. I mean, it's not anything significant, but that's this drop that we have here. And with tomorrow's news coming out, that we may be looking at, what do they call it, a Black Monday, where the whole stock market is expected just to dump on our heads. I mean, we may be looking at testing not only the November 5th price, but possibly even lower. Which, for some of us, like we were, we've read about, people crying about, and I understand there are situations where people need the money, and so they're pulling it out and they have to use it. They have to use that to eat. But if you are in a position where you have dry powder and you're able to be an investor, like Trump says, look, we just buy the dips. I know there's people over there screaming about they're selling and selling and selling, but if you are ready for this, lower prices are a good thing for investors. But that's not to, you know, take away from anybody that's not in that position. But if you are in that position, this isn't a bad time historically for investors. When it's red, you buy it. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, man. When it's red, you buy it. That's what I like. Not financial advice, but I like to hear that. So
And we'll look
what do
at
y'all think?
Solana a little bit later, and we'll look into some Chainlink a little bit later whenever we discuss those. Is there anything else you guys wanted to see now, or do you want to go move forward into another
So
segment?
Dave, real quick, the
Sure.
VWAP. So this is the daily, right? Or what
Mhm.
are we looking at? The 8 hour
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is a daily. Hold on, let me get this, clean it up for you. Yeah, this is a daily. That's an 8-hour chart. Where do you want to look, daily?
Just see what the VWAP's doing on the daily. Oh yeah, it's sharp.
So yeah, if you're talking about the market cipher
Yeah,
B,
yeah.
so it's market cipher B VWAP is sharply coming out, and it's not necessarily down below the lows. But if you also look, sometimes like here, it's sharply coming out, and even once it started coming back in, it didn't stay in very long before it just banged back down,
Right.
and it did it again here. You know, it starts coming back up, but it didn't come out for very long before it started coming back down. So
Well, Dave, you're doing such a great job that on the poll, the one that's winning right now is can I pet that chart? Can I pet that chart? You're doing such a good job. Everybody wants to pet that chart. So
well, sweet. I mean, it does kind of look like a something that you could pet. I mean, it might bite you, but be careful with petting Bitcoin at this point.
of course it's like the can I pet that dog? But
I'm
that was
not
for
sure
Wick's
what you're referring to, but I believe you, and it sounds funny.
Yeah, well, Wick's wife understood she got the message and she put "Can I pet that dog?" in the chat, so she knows what it's about. It's one of those meme that goes around. So you're doing a great job on this. What else we got going on?
What else do you want to look at? So that's, I mean, on just the position of the volume profile on a lower time frame, like, well, if we come even there, I mean, you've already got the lower, the lower low after so you've got a hidden bull div here, and it is past the value area, so a bounce to retest that, not out of the question, right? But we'll just have to see
And
as it
Dave,
plays out. I mean, we're at 786 right now. Go ahead.
what key levels would you start to like hedge that short? Because obviously most people are on
So
that short right now.
so this short actually is a hedge against a bad long. So I was almost at a breach level on breakout, and I was in a long position that if I would have closed it out, would have probably breached me. So instead of closing that long, I took a double position short. And so I just am gonna have to see. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can close this with tomorrow coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anything that's gonna show me close it with tomorrow coming up. Tomorrow sounds pretty scary, and I know tomorrow probably. I think it starts in what, 3 hours for Asia. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure that I would close it.
starts
I
pretty
think
soon.
we're gonna get a pretty
Or
big dump.
or it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, and we could go the other way.
It could. It could. It could. So I'm not sure, but it is already hedged. So I'm not sure when I would close the short part of it and realize that profit. But
Okay.
obviously I'm going to try to wait for the long to go back up. And that's why I 2X this one. So I'll have a little bit of wiggle room.
Awesome, brother. Well,
Yeah,
Red
man.
Man, did you have any reds we researched that we're going to touch on today? I know the charts are are bleeding pretty strong, but I don't know if there's anything that you have put out recently that you just want to hint at on Red's research, because that gives people special access if they own one of our NFTs, right? If they own the book NFT, they can get access, kind of like a token gated section of our Discord.
Yeah. So my latest yeah, and now my computer.
Sorry, Red.
Oh, there it goes.
He was on the
Okay, we're
trigger.
good. Yeah, so if you have a Billy Goat Tales NFT, you are able to access Red's research, and that will bring you to a channel in our Discord where I highlight certain cryptos that I feel are going to be around for a very long time. For the most part, these are all very new cryptos. They're not meme coins. These are not pump and dumps. These actually have use case. And the use case I'm referring to, the last entry, for instance, is I have a whole breakdown on, Bloom Beans. And Bloom Beans is a peer-to-peer decentralized global financial system. There's a lot of benefits to this coin.
You want to share a
And-
screen?
Yeah, sure.
I'll share here. Just one
Yeah.
second.
Did you
I
call
can
it
share.
Bloom
Well, are you
Beans?
sharing the Discord, right? You want me to share the Discord?
Yeah, share the Discord if you, or I'll
Did you
share.
call it? What did you call it? Bloom Beans?
Bloom beans, like bloom, like a flower blooms, and then beans, like beans in your taco or burrito.
Okay, I'm kind of new to crypto, but you just said there's no meme coins or rug pulls, and then you said we're talking about some Bloom beams. I think you're going to need to explain, sir.
I get it.
Right
I get
here
it.
is-
No, but just to give you a brief rundown without showing all the goodies, because Billy doesn't want me to show everything, but I get it. I don't want to show everything either. This is for the token gated people who have spent their Cardano
Well, a
wisely.
true lady never shows everything on the first date.
Yeah, that's very true.
never
So
tells our age.
on each one of these coins, you will get a breakdown. You'll get tokenomics. You will get my little. I don't have very much. I don't put very much opinion into these posts. These are mainly for education only. As you can see, all the different threads. Those are all the different coins that I was able to put in this channel. I have a couple more, but I don't put something in here unless I know for sure it's not a pump and dump, and that these people are trying to build, and these people are trying to solve a problem in our financial system. So each one of these do that, and I've gone through them tooth and nail with a fine tooth or with a fine comb, and did all my research on these. So you guys can enjoy them if you have a Billy Goat Tales NFT.
Yeah, and right now I'm showing because of course I'm a founder. I have different roles and different channels that I could see on Discord. Then I went ahead and went into the kids role, which is everybody's a kid. Why a kid? Well, because goats have kids, right? And and we can change that later on if we want to as a community. But we're still only less than 2 years old, so maybe we're still kids. But also I am showing that this role of someone who holds an NFT, and right now we only have, I think, 27 people in here. I know that we have more holders. And so if you want to figure out how to, let me see, I think it's in the Cardano wallet. So if you go to that Cardano wallet section, there's a little bit of a tip that's on different wallets that you can get. And then I think we have another section. Sorry, I'll get to that. I think it's in the announcements. Yep. So if you want, here's a video of how you can get special access to that holder only section. So if you are a holder, you go to the announcement section. I personally made a video that you can go and look and see how you can connect and get your NFT and your wallet connected to our Discord, and that'll give you that access to Red's research. So go ahead and do that. Go check that announcement section, and then jump in our Discord so that you can get access to Red's research right now. And then of course we have a book holder chat. So if you want to be just chatting with other book holders, we can do that there, and we'll have more channels that we get into in the future. So.
Yeah, man. And then Andrea said in chat, she said her daughter asked her when they're opening up the Boomer Club. She told her that it's the best one in the space.
Is it time for the Boomer Club?
Well, no.
Jimmy,
I
Jimmy,
mean,
do you want
Jimmy?
Jimmy, you
Jimmy's
want us to
the,
open up the club? Never heard of
Let's
it.
do it. Let's do it. Open the.
We're blooded on one sound. Boy, mom, Lord, now. Baby, tonight.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Go for it, Dave.
So
Break
Red,
it
I
down,
think I
Dave.
had a false alarm again. I pulled the trigger. I thought you were answering. I thought it was Jimmy answering, and it was you answering.
No, I answered.
Okay,
He said
I
yes.
saw that you were getting ready, and then I just assumed that was you saying open it, but it was Red.
Jimmy's down for the club anytime, man.
Yeah, Jimmy likes the club.
I mean, we could just start the stream with a club and let it run for 2 hours. I'd be good with it.
Yeah, we'll be dancing.
In the chat, if you liked seeing the motivational mindset marathon, we did a little bit of a test of a marathon. If you'd like to see a motivational mindset marathon, maybe on Saturdays, something like that, put a 1 in the chat. Let us know if you'd want to have us have the stream out to you all, and maybe we'll be able to add some club segments in between or something like that.
Yeah, and Wifey
I don't know,
said,
Jimmy or
heard it.
Redman, maybe you have a little music playlist you want to put out there. We could do that too. But of course, we would never want to take away from Friday and Saturday nights. Piano Matty B, that's a great music endeavor to listen into live on Friday and Saturday nights, Piano Matty B's channel. But do you want to go ahead and get into some of our topics for the day? We have our X space that we're putting out, and if someone wants to grab the X space and put it in the chat, we're going to be doing a reboot of the Power of Faith, and so what that means in 2025. That's chapter 6 of the Billy Goat Tales book, number 6 of our cornerstones. And this week we also hit the 100th episode of Motivational Mindset, so you can be looking out for that Tuesday. And since we're talking about tariffs, Crypto Billy put out a special tariffs episode of Motivational Mindset that's going to be dropping tomorrow. So, well, all right. One of our first topics today was Newsmax. I'm going to let you maybe want to start us out there, Dave Digital, while I get some other resources up.
Well,
But
sure.
we talked about Newsmax is one of the things we were talking about in the intro, and we're going to get into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were introduced to Newsmax in the crypto space due to Randy Hipper starting to live stream or not live stream, but make guest appearance on their shows. And they also have other crypto influencers on there like Pomp, and there's another one, I don't remember his name currently. But that's where we started to notice it. And then recently they had an IPO. So they just went public at the beginning of the month, and they had a pretty successful IPO with their stock, I think, starting at $10 a share and then going to around the $80, topping out at $200 and something a share. And I think right now we're down back around $45 a share. And that's where it stands when markets closed on Friday. But if you look at traditional stocks, and this is oftentimes how they do at an IPO, is they'll bounce like that, and then they'll dump and consolidate, and then they'll find their market cap. But I think seeing the excitement on it is pretty neat, because they are pro crypto. They do not only do they cater to influencers and listen to their opinions, but they're also pro Trump, and they do a lot of coverage on Trump and his coverage of crypto. So yeah, I'm a fan of Newsmax. I'm glad that they had a successful IPO. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so it started out hot. Got up to $66.06. Right now it's sitting at about 45. I believe it. I like Newsmax. Not of course because of Randy, but because they are not afraid to publish the truth and put it out there. There's a lot of people on Newsmax that I like, but yeah,
Yeah, they got up to 266.
yeah. Oh, okay. On this chart, I think it just has the last day. So,
Yeah.
and there's probably more to look at.
Yeah, so I think the founder has 9 point something billion dollars worth of it. So he became a billionaire overnight.
Yeah, weren't they encouraging people to do content creation too on their channel? Are we looking at that?
Well, I was looking earlier on how creators could try to get on their channel, but it wasn't like they have an actual opening for that. It's just X or Grok was just recommending how somebody could go about doing that. Like you know, obviously you want to fit the content that would fit the platform, and so obviously Randy talking about Bitcoin and self custody has done really well, and obviously she's had news exposure on Fox and other stuff. So obviously Randy's done in crypto on jumping on there,
Yeah.
but.
And for me, I've only seen the segments with her on it. So I haven't been a follower of Newsmax, or I don't really watch their other content. I've just watched her segments. And I think that they're still sticking a little bit too much to the old school format. Obviously, they're doing something right with their IPO and the response that they had, but I think that they're still, they cut her down into a 2-minute soundbite or a 2-minute segment. They don't let her really express what she has to say, and I think that's a fault of the mainstream media, and I think that's one of the faults that Newsmax may be inherited.
Yeah. I mean, they might be using it to help boost, their street cred, so to speak, with the crypto audience. But, unless they're, get into maybe more content, I likewise haven't watched it except for Randy's segments. So I don't know much about them personally. But Jamie, what are your thoughts?
I don't watch a lot of news myself. If I do, usually it's because I had a bad day and I'm looking to see who had a worse day than me.
Yeah. Jimmy, when did you
And
stop
what the
watching
weather's
news?
going to be.
When did you stop watching news? Was it COVID for you? Basically, it was COVID for me. Before that, I could remember probably watching news twice a day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll catch the afternoon local news maybe, but I mean, it's just because that's what's on when I get home. But you know, I'd say it was even before that. You know, I just not into it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
it's one of those things where you can flip between two channels and you can hear two totally different stories.
Yeah.
So, if it's something major, I might pay attention, to it for a day or two. But, for the most part, I just try not to get sucked into all that. I got too much other stuff going on to worry about the rest of the world.
So do we want to talk about tariffs?
Well, yeah, that's one of the main things that Grok seems to think that Newsmax is getting a lot of their following from is their coverage of Trump and their coverage of what he's doing, their positive coverage of Trump, including the tariffs. And the tariffs came out. I mean, Trump's not playing around. Trump came out and he's pushing tariffs. And I was like we were discussing before the show. I'm a fan, because what we were doing before, it wasn't working. We've become a weaker country. We've become laughed at. We've become not the strength that we were, not respected like we were. Everybody, they hate us. So if there's a chance that we could change that with Trump finally taking a position of strength rather than a position of weakness like past administrations have, at least on the surface, it looks like people are responded well. I don't see anybody, bombing us or anything like that. It seems like everybody's picking up the phone and wanting to talk about it. So
Yeah,
I think on that
I
front,
don't-
we're looking good.
I don't understand all the negative press around the tariffs when we're being tariffed more than everybody, because if you're gonna tariff us and then not allow us to tariff you back, it's kind of like, hey, I can tax you and you're gonna have to pay this tax, but if you try to do this to me, I'm just gonna tax you more. And then it's a downward spiral from there, right? And I think Trump has just kind of had enough with the America getting taken advantage of and said, you know what? We're gonna start tariffing everybody. Everybody's put on notice. Unless if you come here and manufacture, you bring your business here, we'll take care of you. You won't get tariffed. But if you continue to build in China or if you continue to build in Canada and Mexico and exploit all that cheap labor, we're going to put a tariff tax on you. And it's going to be that short-term gain, long-term pain, or short-term pain, long-term gain type deal, because once we see all that tariff money coming in, we're the biggest consumers of everything in America. So we have the leverage, China doesn't have the leverage. And I believe we can start bringing these manufacturing plants back. Some positive things can happen and people could start getting better jobs and making more money. And that's of course, if it all works out, but we're seeing the short-term pain right now in the stock market. And some people
and it even looks like in the chat they're split. I mean, because wifey looks like she's like, tariffs, I'm so upset. But then we've got what did Mike say? He said something. Oh, not that one. There was another one on tariffs. It's just back and forth in the chat. I lost the exact comment, but it looks like they're going back and forth, on tariffs and what they can do. Like I said, I feel like it's a sign of strength and an opportunity to negotiate, but I won't take it all up. Jimmy, what do you think about tariffs?
Well, I mean, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do by design, right? I mean, it's going to, I don't even want to use the word crash the stock market. I mean, if you go look at the S&P over the last 4 years and how much we've moved down versus how much we've moved up, I mean, it's a blip on the radar, right? But when the markets go down, what do people do? They take their money, they put it in gold, they put it in bonds. They put it in bonds. That's going to allow them to reduce interest rates, so yeah, I mean, it's short-term pain for long-term gain. Doesn't bother me a bit. Portfolio not looking great. I'm still up, not looking great though. And I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to, double my bags. I mean, it's just that simple. It's been for too long. We've let this sore fester, and sooner or later you got to rip the damn Band-Aid off, and that's what we're doing right now. We're ripping the Band-Aid off, and things could get worse. I think they are going to get worse, but I think we'll look back probably by the end of the year and go, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Do you think, Jimmy, do you think it'll be more like a controlled burn, or do you think it's going to be total chaos before it gets better, like a 2008 recession like type deal?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Which, I mean, if it is, great, because I'm not in the stock market, and I'll jump the fence and I'll throw a bunch of money in the stock market. I'm not 100% crypto. Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's not a great position to be in.
How
having
dare
all your
you,
eggs in one
Jimmy?
basket. Well, it's not. It's the truth, and when you're kind of dealing with numbers that I deal with, I mean,
Right. It wouldn't be
I'm
smart.
interested in making money, and wherever I need to put that money to make money, that's where I'm going. I mean, that's why I haven't bought crypto this year. I don't think I've bought a single thing this year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot, not like I was. And that's why I'm spending a lot of money on sports cards, because I mean, I can make money doing that. It's just a matter of being agile and be able to shift gears and not keeping all the eggs in one basket. I mean, if you do that, then you're hedging against things like this happening. I definitely have on the conservative side of things, but I'm in a position I can do that, right? I mean, not everyone's in that same position.
Yeah. And since we got Mike in the chat, I would like to ask him, you know, one of the things about the tariffs, and we're going to talk about the Bitcoin hash rate in a little bit, but one of the things that I read that they were worried about is that the miners are going to pay a huge tax because, or a huge tariff because the equipment is coming from China, or at least most of it, and that may affect the smaller miners a lot more than it would affect the bigger marathons and riots and people like that. And I wanted him to answer and let me know, as a smaller miner, has he seen those, or are there rumors of those tariffs affecting him on the equipment side of things? So I'll just pose that out to Mike, and we'll see what he has to say in a little while.
Well, why don't we get
Like,
into that hash rate, the Bitcoin hash rate record, network strength, or warning sign? And they, of course, anybody can, chime in. Retro Mike Tech, you're always welcome to chime in on anything related to mining. Of course, you can chime in on other stuff as well. But yeah, that's a good point, Dave. Has it already started affecting miners? I wonder if the bid axes, I think those are made here in the US for those that want to have a bid axe and almost basically play the Bitcoin lottery, right? But I know I
Tony,
have
how did
mine.
you find that out, that they were made here in the U.S.? That's
Well,
some
I
good
went to the Bitcoin
information.
conference. I went to the Bitcoin
Oh,
conference.
the Bitcoin
Yeah.
conference. And Jimmy Jim
Bitcoin.
reminded us earlier.
They're
Yeah.
made in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, man, I think right here in
Exactly.
Houston is what Jimmy was telling me.
Yep. Clutch City.
So we'd love to find a way to make some content out of a visit over there, or at least to talk with those guys. That would be cool.
Yeah. So some of the guys, I'm part of the Bitcoin veterans group, although they are not into anything but Bitcoin, and that's fine. There's groups for that. But Bitcoin veterans, I met someone who was reselling, probably bought from BitAxe and selling some of the miners. So I picked up one of mine there. I know you guys picked them up on the Bitcoin floor. So we've
Yeah,
always
it
had
looks
to
like
pay tariffs for any device over $600 to the tune of 30 to 50% of the hardware cost. Wow. Thanks, Retro Mike Tech. So he provided that in the chat. I think he's got another one if you want to pin it. I don't know if one of y'all pinned it, Red or so. ASIC chips aren't made in the US. They are soldered and assembled in the US. Bitmain doesn't do manufacturing in the US. BitAxe uses repurposed Bitmain chips. Well, there you go. A little bit of intel, a little bit
So
more
are you
information.
saying, Mike, that it's not really going to affect you that much, or it's going to increase even more, or that it doesn't even matter because if you buy the machine, you're already planned the profitability and you've already done the numbers and it's just going to work, or it's not? So just as we
Yeah,
go along, maybe he'll
and Mike, maybe you can clarify for us how many chips are in one ASIC. Well, I think it's SJ 9 Pro, or how many chips are in one. So what they do is there's one chip in each BitAxe, right? And that one chip comes out of the ASIC. They put it in the BitAxe, and then they sell that. That's a little solo miner that they sell. That's one ASIC chip, but there's many ASIC chips within those big. Yeah, right there. See it? There it is, right there. So there's many of those things in those ASICs that they sell. They have like, I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I forgot how many chips are in there, but there's a bunch of chips in those big ASICs that they sell that are like 14 grand. And then BitAxe just takes them apart and takes one chip and put it in a little solar miner, and it hits a Bitcoin block. Matter of fact, last week, a BitAxe miner hit a block. Last week. So this isn't the first time. It's happened quite a few times now. So whatever these guys are doing, they're doing it right.
And actually, it's Solo Satoshi that's in Houston. They're a huge
Solo.
BitAxe seller. BitAxe is, I think they're manufactured actually up by Billy. I remember having that conversation while we were there. Oh, Billy.
Oh, well.
So let's go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin hash rate. 972 EH per second. Is that exahash per second? I don't know what the EH stands for. But is it a flex, or are miners about to have some trouble? I don't know.
Well, I
What
think there's different aspects of it, Tony. I think Because if you look back whenever they first introduced ordinals and things like that, all the add-ons on top of the Bitcoin network, the miners' fees were well above what the traditional reward was to mine a Bitcoin or to do a block, right? So they were almost getting double. And now, since all of that traffic and all that hype has died down, it's down 97% the additional fees. So now they're just getting their regular reward, which I think is 3 something Bitcoin, plus like a 0.3 or under another Bitcoin as any fees. So it's really low. So I think it looks like what needs to happen is they need to get more activity over there and they get more fees to keep the miners super
Well,
profitable. Obviously, they're making money, but
yeah, I mean, when ordinals were hot, people were
Yeah.
using the Bitcoin blockchain like crazy, and and these miners were cashing in on it because they were making buku bucks off the gas fees that people were paying, and people aren't minting; they're not inscribing ordinals anymore. So, yeah, they need to find a different way to use the blockchain, and something that's going to create a bunch of hype like the ordinals did, because runes kind of died out, right? Nobody's really talking about runes anymore.
Yeah.
So
And then you have if there's high energy cost in areas where people are using Bitcoin to maybe use off the extra energy that's not being used. If there's high energy cost, different Bitcoin miners or other people might be affected either by shortages of energy or maybe having to come offline so that the energy spikes don't affect the populace. So
Jimmy, have you noticed any spikes here in Texas? Because I've been seeing that on Grok, but I haven't noticed our energy spiking. Have you?
On natural gas, yes, for sure. I want to say my gas bill has almost doubled, but electricity, no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
but
were saying that.
typically in a deregulated market, you're not. I mean, everyone's in competition, right? So
Right.
it does keep prices low. Whereas I've only got one choice for a gas provider, and they're sticking it to us.
Uh-oh, look what we got. I think this is good news if I'm interpreting this correctly.
I hope so.
Yeah, that or
Billy
he's
just
falling to the ground right now.
yeah, he just had a baby.
I
For
don't
the
know. I
littlest,
don't know how to
littlest
take
place you
that.
could
The
have
eagle left the
one.
nest. He rolled off the couch.
did somebody just move out? Is that what it was?
I'm just hoping that the eagle doesn't come back and peck around. That's good, Billy. That's good to hear. We're hoping that it all comes out and that you can get this behind you, but I know it's been painful. Even though you're a
Mhm.
veteran at it, I know it's no fun.
We need to get him to collect them, and then we'll auction them off.
There you go. That'll be an
One of
Easter egg
ones.
in the NFTs.
101.
One of
Little
one.
piece of Billy.
The crypto Billy birthday stone, something like that.
Yeah.
Billy rocks.
Yeah, and just to point out what Mike was saying, he said last week there was a BTC block that had 0 fees. This is what happens when people start trying to advocate for it as a storage of value instead of a peer-to-peer currency. And then he said something very rude, but I'm sure he was talking to everybody but me. He said, "This is what you guys wanted." So, I mean,
Thanks, RMT.
it seems
Cheaper
like
Bitcoin
Bitcoin's
prices. I
not
do
being
want
used as
cheaper.
it's supposed to be used, is what he's saying, and it's supposed to be doing something, and it's just sitting there now.
I will say, Crypto Billy's been been strong and doing a lot, even with having trouble with these kidney stones. On Tuesday, he took a little bit of a break from the show. I mean, he was live and he was hosting and with us, and all of a sudden, in the background, he's like, "Guys, you got to take over." And then he even came back, an hour later and jumped back in. So Crypto Billy tries to push through everything. So we know that hopefully he's feeling some relief now after the eagle flying the nest and. He continues to push on and just want to make sure that he's present for you all. And we know that you've got him in your prayers. So,
Yeah, and we definitely miss him when he's gone. He's a big part of
Yeah.
everything that happens at Billy Go Tells. Obviously, it was his idea, but if you even fast forward to the day, I mean, he helped to get our first published author other than himself, Red, published, and that's a
Mhm.
journey in itself. And he's doing it not as a spring chicken. It's not like he's just 21 years old starting a startup. He's doing this on the backside and still figuring out the technology and figuring out how to motivate some hard heads like ourselves, minus Jimmy, of course. Jimmy's, not a hard head. It's just the
Yeah,
rest.
well, Billy's super dedicated, and just the fact that he's not here shows you how much pain he's actually in. Believe me, he wants to be here. So,
And we're not going to announce the Billy Goat Tales takeover, but till next week, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Change
Was
the
my mic
locks. Change the locks.
Cue the fart sound.
Grab the keys.
I'm not scared of you, Carlos.
Go rip around in Billy's Lambo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, Tony, corral us back in, brother.
And for those that, look, this is a little inside scoop where the Billy Goat Tales team is doing a photo shoot while we're in Vegas. We're going to do a photo shoot, get some professional photos done and stuff like that. But maybe you guys might want to crash the party. Maybe we'll put out our location at some point and pin it, and you guys can come and join the crash the party and have a community photo shoot too. So anyways, that'll be something that we announce closer or live during the show or something like that. We'd love to see you guys, whether we see you at the show or somewhere else around the city. That'd be great to do.
Next, and did I see that right? That Billy requested us to wear our birthday suit?
No. He said bring a suit. Like
a suit. I misunderstood that.
And not the Dumb and Dumber type.
I might not have my glasses on.
Not the Dumb and Dumber type. Although I think you look good in the blue.
I can't wear my tuxedo shirt.
Dave needs a digital needs a zoot suit. That's what he needs.
I definitely need a zoot suit.
Zoot suit.
We're having a riot. I'm looking forward
with
to
a long cigarette.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
I'll be down.
And a top hat.
And a top hat.
Do we have WD-40 to spray up there, Billy? Oh, no. Why did I read that comment? All right. I'll leave
Andrea needs to put herself in some time out as a head mod.
Andrea.
My goodness.
So why don't we get on to our next
comments? That's funny, Andrea. We do
topic of the day. Our next topic of the day is PayPal, Solana, and Chainlink expansion. Will it make altcoins go mainstream? What do you all think? What are your thoughts?
So let's look at it real quick. Let's look at Solana and see what happened, right? What date was that, Tony?
Yeah, pull the chart up.
Does it show when they have made the deal?
Let me check. I'll check somewhere else.
I think Solana tanked.
If you know in the chat, let us know.
That doesn't look like they made a deal since
right.
What is that? December of
That's
last
what I was
year?
about to point out. If we look here, that's one thing about what's going on right now in the current situation we are in, whatever part of the cycle we are. None of the news is hitting. None of the good things are good things. None of the pumps are coming. I mean, any pumps that come seem to be like an helium balloon that simply got somebody poked a hole in it, so it went up, just a little bit, and then it shot right back down. I mean, I don't understand why none of these bullish announcements are bullish at all. I mean, wow.
We have the most favorable crypto regulation, crypto president, everything. We still can't get the price to go up.
Yeah, so this is Link too, right behind me. And these are dailies, so that's Link.
Everybody's
April 4th. And really all it is they expanded their offerings for people to buy and sell. And so, maybe the audience that they're trying to buy and sell to are not necessarily jumping into crypto as much either. It's just PayPal. And does it broaden the scope of where people could use it? Definitely. But if I have my crypto, I'm not necessarily selling it right now. So maybe I'm not going to transfer it to PayPal to pick it up. But obviously there's Cash App, there's Bitcoin on Cash App, and now we got PayPal. It obviously spreads the ease of access. But if people aren't buying Bitcoin yet there, why are they going to be buying Chainlink and Solana there? At least that's my thoughts, right?
So you think they're not buying on? Did you read something that said they're not buying on Cash App or on PayPal?
No, I'm saying if people that are using PayPal, I don't think many crypto natives or crypto, like the early starters, what do they call it? And you have early adopters. There you go. Early adopters. I think we're still in the early adopter phase. I don't think that crypto enthusiasts are necessarily going out and buying most of their crypto on PayPal or Cash App or stuff like that. I mean,
Well,
and I
there's a
get
poll
money.
for you.
What's
Have
that?
you bought crypto on anything other than a DEX or an exchange?
There you go.
Oh,
One in the chat if you have,
chat.
and two if you haven't.
I
Yeah,
did buy crypto
I
on
gotta put one.
Robinhood though.
I got to put
I
a
think
one because
maybe
I actually did buy Bitcoin whenever I did some different things for the book or other stuff, or maybe I paid for some subscriptions for the Billy Goat Tail stuff, and Billy was reimbursing me. He usually does on Cash App, and I'm like, man, I'll just buy Bitcoin here. So I just used that and I
right.
bought Bitcoin.
I think that's an overlooked aspect of it because some people do keep a balance on PayPal. They do keep a balance on their Cash App. And it would be very simple now to just keep that balance in Bitcoin because instantly when you need it, you can pull it right back out. So even
Yeah.
though you can't necessarily take because that's the way it is with my bank. I have an online bank current and I can do that there. And that just makes it very easy to where I don't have to onboard anywhere. I can just buy inside of my bank, just like you could just buy some inside of Bitcoin or inside of PayPal, and just whatever balance you keep there anyway, just let that increase with the Bitcoin price or with the Solana price or with the Chainlink
Yep.
price.
I
I
Yeah,
think
but you
that
can't
that's
get that
a good
Bitcoin
tool.
off of PayPal, can you?
Right, you can't, but you can only, but it's better, in my opinion, it's better than that cash being cash, and it's Bitcoin for most of the time until you need that cash again, and then you turn it back into cash. I
Yeah. Then
think
you
that
convert
that
it
way you
back
can
and
get some of the
offload
upside. I
it.
mean, you might get the downside too, but you could get some of the upside.
I mean, I would be more worried about PayPal freezing my wallet, freezing my account if I was see that's the reason why we use hot wallets, right? So and then we buy from centralized exchanges and then send it to wallets because we want access to our money. We don't want it frozen. And so PayPal got a little bad publicity, what was that last year before where they were freezing people's accounts. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. And that's the only thing that kind of deters me away from using PayPal.
Yeah, and they've
Yeah.
done it to me several times. So PayPal is a piece of crap, as a service, or it always has been. Using them, they always make their own rules. They always charge you an arm and a leg. They always treat the user like crap. And even we remember one of the things Randy reported on last year was that I don't remember if it was if you said something wrong or did something like that, but they could fine you $2,500 for making a bad post or having some sort of an opinion. They got a lot of backlash, and I don't know if they took it out of their fine print, but that was one of the things that they added in that was a big uproar. And I remember Randy talking about a lot. So PayPal's not famous for their customer service at all. But if we all have to, I don't know if all you guys still use it, but I still do. Even though they kicked one of me off a long time ago, I still had to find a workaround so I could still be able to use PayPal. And I think if you do keep a balance on there to hold it in Bitcoin is not a bad option, or to hold it in Solana, or to be able to take advantage even of moves. Whenever we see an XRP pump to take advantage, or I don't know if XRP is over there, but you see a Sol pump to take advantage of that pump candle as a breakout trader, and just get out quickly.
Yep.
It just
Yep.
gives you a better
Solana.
option with cash that has to be cash.
I mean, you
And
never
now it
know.
doesn't have to be cash.
Somebody like
Well,
somebody
go ahead.
somebody like Jimmy might be looking for some trading cards, and if he has his Chainlink over there on PayPal, then he can switch it and buy some trading cards.
Well, I think it's a stepping stone, right? I mean, it's one piece of the big puzzle being put in place for the 5-10 years down the road, and it becomes more mainstream. But it doesn't really interest me right now. I'm not paying for anything in crypto per se. And I've yet to be to a card show that I've seen anyone accepting crypto. But I don't know. The next show, I think we're going to get a table, and that might not be a bad idea. With if the numbers are low, yeah, give me some Bitcoin for this card.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is you can already accept it. You don't have to go get a Square. You don't have to
Right.
you don't have to go sign up for anything new. You can just say, hey, do you Ethereum or do you Solana, whatever it is you're going to accept that day. You can just say, hey, here's my wallet address. Okay, it's here. Here's your product. I think that's that empowers a lot of people. And like Mike was saying in the chat, that's what crypto is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a back and a forth, a peer to peer. It's supposed to give us freedom, options and control.
Yep, 100%. I mean, hey, the more places adopt it, the better. But maybe that's just why there was no spike, because it really didn't, just yet make a big difference. Even though we know that the more adoption is, the more places you can use it, the better it's going to be. I mean, I've seen Bitcoin ATMs, and I've also looked at them and seen the charges to use Bitcoin ATMs, and I wouldn't unless I absolutely had to. Like if I was in a country where there was a whole bunch of strife and there was no way to get your money, and I put it in Bitcoin, I was able to travel and then go to another place and withdraw it, I'd be willing to pay the fees instead of not being able to take my money out of a bank or something. So, but it's just another avenue, and I think that it's a positive as far as for crypto adoption. Just some of these announcements don't always pump the charts like we expect.
Just for speculation, guys, what do you think prompted their decision? Because they just don't. Mr. PayPal didn't just say yesterday, okay, I'm going to now do this with Solana and Chainlink. They did their research. They did everything in the back end. They went through all the hoops. They're a major company. They're not going to get in trouble for doing this. What made them pick these two, do you guys think? What are the strong suits that match PayPal? Was it just that Trump has approved them and is pro crypto, or is it, what do you think it is that made them pick these two out of all of them?
I think it's another GME situation, right? So PayPal's trying to get a piece of the pie. They know the money is coming, and they're trying to get in early before everybody else gets on board, and they're trying to make those transaction fees. Because let's face it, when you're trying to convert $1,000, $2,000 worth of HBAR into Bitcoin or into, it's a hefty fee. It's still a hefty fee if you don't have, like you can get Coinbase One, and I think it's free on Coinbase One, right, Jimmy, to convert, or they still charge you on Coinbase One?
I'm not sure, because they have changed things.
Okay, so the more money that you're trying to exchange into Bitcoin or stables, the more they're going to charge you in those fees. So that's where the money's at, right? So these PayPal's just trying to take a chunk of the fees, get a piece of the pie. And I believe, before mass adoption comes around, because PayPal's in so much stuff, people get their direct deposit to PayPal, and that's the way they get paid, right? Yeah. But imagine if, everything goes crypto, well, you can deposit it right to your PayPal account, right? And so your paycheck, and we're talking about everybody's paycheck, and that's a lot of fees, and that's a lot of money, and PayPal's trying to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and PayPal owns Venmo, so it should be rolling out on Venmo here in the next couple of weeks. So it's just another layer to. And they say that they do it because there's been more demand by consumers, and maybe that's the case. But I think you're right, Red. Gain the fees, be part of that thing. You don't want to miss out on anything that they can. So.
Well, Tony, we just got a call from a friend of the channel, and I think I want to share that with the chat.
Okay.
Greetings and salutations, fellow seekers of wisdom and camaraderie. Allow me to regale you with the tale of Billy Goat Tales, a paragon of the giver's gain ethos in the crypto cosmos. Join our assembly every Tuesday evening and bask in the enlightenment for a deeper dive into the realms of motivation. Catch me on Sundays at Giver's Gain 111. Let the resonant frequencies of our shared ethos elevate your spirit. Stay lit, stay inspired, and remember the future beckons.
And you wouldn't believe it, but right after that, we got another message, and I'll go ahead and share that too.
Well, folks, let me tell you about this fantastic group, Giver's Gain. They're all about connecting like-minded people in the crypto world who believe in that philosophy. Catch them on Tuesdays and Sundays for some great content that will truly touch your life. It's going to be tremendous, believe me.
Yeah, so a couple great endorsements. The Giver's Gain community is definitely growing, and we're really excited about Elon supporting us like that. And President Trump, we know they're busy, so to take time out of their busy days to shout us out like that, we really appreciate that. And of course, that's not real.
Of course, it's not real. And I wonder if you could get one of Paul Atkins. That'd be fun. The new SEC chair.
Oh, was that a segue into our next
A little
segment,
bit.
Tony?
A little bit of a segue.
That was good, bro. Can you hear me now? Sorry, Billy.
Can you hear me now, Billy? We said it.
Yeah, so he just got what was it, approved, or what is it, the next step that just happened with him? They just said, yeah, you're in, kind of like he got elected a long time ago and now he's made it through. Is that what's going on with this guy? And he's super pro crypto. So I do know some stuff about him. He's super pro crypto. He owns a lot of crypto, but none of it Bitcoin from what I was reading.
So he got confirmed. He got the confirmation nod from the Senate Banking Committee. So the panel voted to advance the confirmation to run the SEC. That was a few days ago. I don't know what else is the new part of it, but so what's your take?
So it says here he was nominated by President Trump in early 2025 to serve as chair of the U.S. SEC. So
yeah. So after the tough ride that we've had with Gary Gensler, obviously it's still again on the same note. It's time for a change. Gary was super regulatory with a punish you first and ask questions later kind of an approach. And from what I'm seeing, this guy's not going to be that type. Even give it, or one of his plans is even to give people a window while they're just getting going before they even have to register with the SEC, while they're getting their feet under them. So it seems like he's going to have, it seems like the team is building. If you can build an A team, it seems like we're getting close.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to see what the next steps are. Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just saying, I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, it's just another stepping stone. I mean, you've got, companies accepting crypto. Now we've got, people being appointed and elected that are crypto friendly. I mean, the dominoes are falling, we just gotta wait for the end of the show.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting, and at the same time, enjoy the ride. I mean, we're here in the time where this is huge. Like, I'm sure as grandparents and great grandparents, we're going to be telling stories. And then our kids and grandkids are also going to be telling stories. They're like, yeah, my dad or my uncle, or, they were in there doing the Bitcoin thing. Here, watch this video, what they were talking about. Look, it's so funny that they were talking about this back then before Bitcoin was whatever Bitcoin becomes, So, I mean, we're here.
While they're
so
flying around in their personal jets on my dime because I'm dead.
Yeah. And they're just watching your old streams like, oh, look at Jimmy. Look at Uncle Jimmy or Dad Jimmy. He was just so cute playing with those Legos. And they're up there just building stuff like real buildings with the touch of a button. Like Tony the Brick. I surely love the background, Tony the Brick. I like the outlines on the outside. That gives you that Star Wars up-to-date feel.
The Tony the Brick says, as long as I get a piece of the pie, I'm okay with whoever is in office,
And by pie, you actually mean pie.
Yeah, I like lemon cream pie, coconut cream pie. I like a little bit. I think I like a little bit too much of the pie, but I'm losing weight. I'm not having so much lately.
Hey,
I save it for Thanksgiving.
Everything in moderation. We like I was telling Red before the stream. I didn't really when I went to a foodie place on Friday night or Saturday, and I was thinking it was going to be fun. There's going to be all these types of food, but in my head, I'm thinking it's going to be restaurants in the Houston area that are going to be giving out samples so that eventually you'll come into their restaurant and want to eat. But it really wasn't like that. It was more like a carnival with no rides and just carnival food, which is fine, but it really wasn't what I was expecting. And I did have they had a deep fried or oatmeal cream pie, and it was pretty good. But that's
Hey, Dave.
Deep fried Oreos are pretty good.
What's that?
Deep fried Oreos.
Oh yeah. We thought about getting the Twinkie, and we did get a chocolate dipped cheesecake. That was pretty good too. But You know, just
Dave,
the drink, like you got to have this drink and you got to carry it with 2 hands, and this is just lemonade, but it's dang $25 just for a dang lemonade. Of course, you can fill it up as many times as you want, but it's still $25, and it doesn't have a strap. It needed
Well,
a
you got to go
strap.
to El Patio. They do their big margaritas in a bag.
Oh no!
And it's got a little hole. It's got like a spout on the side. You can just stick a straw in it.
Wow. I used to get down with margaritas. I don't know if you remember
Dutchie's,
Casa Olay, but they had a 99-cent margarita day, and we used to tear that up.
Dutchie says it's time for a scalp long on Bitcoin. Let's see what he's looking at.
I think
Well,
it's
I'm looking
time for
at
the
it
close.
now, and I'm not sure. I mean, money flow is still coming up, but other than the 786, you don't have a significant level here, and the bull div is definitely understated. I mean, you got one slightly. No, you don't even have one right there. You don't even have a hidden bull div. Well, I guess you'd have a regular bull div though, but not a hidden one. I like hidden ones. I mean, you could get a bounce. I mean, the VWAP's up there, so you're gonna have to retest the VWAP eventually. So if he's talking like that kind of a scalp up to 80, you probably could get on it. But she's
Looks
right.
like
I
Crypto
might
Billy,
close out part.
Crypto Billy wants to know if Bitcoin's moving again.
I see him down there, and I think we just kind of went over. Is it moving? It's moving, but not necessarily in the right direction.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this candle, you know, I'm on the 3-minute, of course, but that candle's red. And we had this here that made it look like it's gonna move. But what we need to do is do something significant over there. I would like to see a excuse me.
I want to see the 200 over. I want to see the price hover around the 200 before I long on the 15-minute.
Yeah, and I need bull divs to come in, or hidden bull divs better. I mean, this one could, if this momentum comes a little bit more down, that's pretty good on the 15. So he could, but what do we have? One, that's our second yellow X. So I think we should expect a bigger move down on the second yellow X.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our first one with the first X. We should expect a bigger one with the second X, and then
Yeah,
some sort of cool off with the next 2 X's, yeah, or some
I'm
sort of
still-
not cool off, but consolidation.
I'm still biased short. So
Yeah, I am too. I'm looking. I think the next. What am I looking at for the next level while I'm out here? Yeah, I'm going way down. Let me see here. 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, in the macro thing, on the macro side of things, I've got a golden pocket down here at 72, 71. So, and I'm well before that on where I want to take profit. But I think we retest that. Why come down here if we're not going to go down here? You know, at least we're going to take this low, is my guess, from over here. Why mess around if you're not going to take the low? And then if you're already going to take that low, well, why not bounce at least off the golden pocket? I mean, we already lost
Well,
this.
hopefully it waits
786.
till Tuesday.
What do you got on Tuesday?
I got a big fat check coming Tuesday.
Oh, so you're hoping it don't bounce until well after Tuesday.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you might get the low 70s.
That would be sweet. That
Yeah.
would be sweet. I'll definitely
You
pick
might
up a.
get Solana in the high 70s.
high 60s.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is the sentiment. If you're lucky enough to be in a position to be prepared, this is the time you've been waiting for. You know, you're just hoping that it doesn't
Yep.
pass you by. You're hoping that you get some more preparedness come in before the bottom comes in, so you can put all your preparedness into it. You know, I mean, yeah, it's scary, but everybody that's ever made money in investments have always said they bought it when it was scary. You
Yep.
know, and we know it's not the top, or we know it's not the most, you know, it's not this very tippy top. We know that. We don't know if it'll revisit the top, but we know we're not at the top. So that's one way Jason looks at it. We're gonna say hi again to the chat.
Hey, Paisan, how you doing, chat? We've been talking about Bitcoin's ups and downs here, and hash rates and tariffs in the works. But let's cash out for now. We're almost into Jimmy's final thoughts here. Who else is in the chat we want to say hi to, Dave?
No, I was just saying if we want to say hi again. I see Offset still in there, cutting it up. Billy's still in there, cutting it up. I see Billy knows what money's on the incoming, Jimmy. You see him there? He's got your check's
Oh yeah,
number.
I see him.
He knows what's coming. Yeah. We saw Po Man jumped in the chat. We see Mark always having fun in the chat. We appreciate you, Dutchy. Of course, Offset's still in there. Jesse's still hanging out. Just the regular guys still in the chat. Looks like just like us and the fam. We're just having a nice little chill Sunday, hanging out with all the cool people. Yeah, wifey in the chat, throwing up her goats.
Cardboard on a
Yeah,
Sunday?
man. What's that?
Cardboard on a Sunday?
Cardboard?
Cardboard. Yeah.
I don't get it.
No,
I don't-
well, my buddy used to call cards. He used to call because he collects too. He collects baseball cards and he calls cards cardboard because that's what it is. It's cardboard.
There you go.
Got you.
Actually, I have some glass ones.
Nice.
Yeah, so take that with your old outdated cardboard.
Your old junk
wanna-
wax.
Should we jump
Yeah.
into Jimmy's final thoughts here shortly?
Tony, we're 20 minutes still at least from the end. Did we talk about everything so far?
We haven't looked at Link yet though.
Link.
What did you want to
Well,
tell
let's
us
look
about
at
Link,
Link.
Red?
Not
What
talking
was on
about
the-
Zelda, right?
Yeah, let's talk about Zelda.
No, Link on Zelda, right? Link, Zelda, is there a connection there?
Yeah, that was the main guy.
Yeah. I know Billy loves Chainlink. I wish he was here to talk Chainlink with us, but what do y'all want to talk about Chainlink? Let me ask Grok, what's new with Chainlink?
I know they're part of the
And
Sovereign
remember,
Wealth Fund.
the floor is open. If anybody wants to jump in and jump up with us and be brave, jump up and join us in the chat. I don't know if that StreamYard link is still pinned, but I can send another one out.
Yeah, send another one out. Get some guys. See if anybody wants to jump on. Let me just look over the notes real quick and make sure everything was covered. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered
Are all those
it.
papers for one show, Dave?
Yeah.
He's got it blown up to like 100 font or something. He's still got to use the glasses. Just kidding.
Killed a tree for this show.
Dave, to your point, I do read what you give us, but then I
Yes.
don't retain all of it. So then I feed it into Grok and I have it give me some talking points and other stuff. For those that you don't know, Dave's assistant, Grok, does a really good job. And Dave does a lot of work to kind of help get the topics for our Sundays. Like he goes out and tries to find out on Google Trends and on X to see what's trending. So, each one of us does our own little part here on Billy Goat Tales. And for those that want to maybe come in and support us in some ways, jump in on Discord, let us know, open a ticket, we can start chatting. I know that Jesse has been very, very active in helping and looking after those scammers, especially on YouTube, to try to report them. And we do the same. But we appreciate all of you for being here with us.
Yeah, Jesse
Yeah,
does a great job. Big shout out to Jesse in the
There's
chat.
that bounce you were talking about. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, Dutchy. I didn't see it. That's why
Dutchy
I
does have
mentioned
good TA, so I don't
He
know if
does.
he was just joking or if he just missed it or if it wasn't in this timing. Maybe he's talking about on a different time frame and not right this second. But Dutchy has really good TA. DDT has good TA. Creighton C has good TA. And those are just behind the scenes or out of chat people that really, really do some good TA.
Mhm.
So what do you guys think is going to happen in the long run? So everybody is in the consensus here. Do you think that whatever Trump's doing, it's just setting it up just like what you have to do? It's just preparation for the brighter days. You don't think this is a bad time? Everybody is basically in agreement, right?
I mean, is there any is there ever a good time to rip a Band-Aid off a scab? I mean, it's just something that's got to be done. We got to get things back right, and they ain't been right in a long time.
So is there a time that we think, is there a moment that, or is there something that we can pinpoint later down the road that we say, okay, he's gone too far and maybe this isn't working, or a point where we say, all right, it worked?
I mean, we got to look at the national debt. I mean, it's out of control. I mean, there's no way we're that much in debt, but there is, because we've been spending like crazy and haven't been getting anything back for it, right? And that was the big thing with Ukraine, is we were giving money to Ukraine. We were giving it to them. UK and the EU, they were giving it to Ukraine as well, but they were sending it as loans. Ukraine has to pay that back. The money we sent to Ukraine, it's gone, and we're not getting it back. So that type of behavior has been the status quo for how long now, Jimmy? Probably years. We've been just giving people money and haven't been getting anything in return. But that's just
I mean, I think, I think a good sign, not only just for the economy, but for crypto, is when they start dropping interest rates. I mean, I think that's going to be one of the, initial signs that things are turning around. Because I mean, it's killing people right now. I mean, just high interest rates. I'm not. I mean, if you're in a market for a car right now, don't. I would definitely do your homework if you're going to buy a car in the next couple of months. The dealerships, just like with COVID, they're going to milk the crap out of tariff. You should do your research and figure out what model, because it's not going to be by make. I mean, there's tons of overseas manufacturers that assemble here. And you need to do your homework and understand, if I'm looking at a Honda Civic or a light car, is understanding, where these things are manufactured. That way you at least have that knowledge when you go into a dealership, and you just don't throw your hands in there and go, oh, okay, yeah, tariffs, I'm going to pay more. Because that's not going to be the case across the board.
Yeah, I think in order to refinance all this debt, we need a weaker dollar so that we can get better interest rates on our debt, right? So the dollar needs to crash, and the stock market needs to crash, and that's what's happening, and that's what Trump wants, so that we could refinance all this debt that we have, and that's going to cause some pain, but in the end, we're going to be good. And unfortunately, those who are small business owners, everybody else, they're the ones that are going to pay the price the most, right? Because they're the ones that have to pay for all that overhead, all their supplies and everything that come from China, their supplies that come from other countries, So my heart goes out to them. I know Wick's wife said that she's a small business owner. But if you can weather through the storm for a little while, things will get very good very fast in about 6 to 8 months. So maybe a little longer. That's just a speculation.
And I think we'll start seeing the victory. I think we can start claiming victory whenever we see something big happen. Like if you abolish the IRS, if you cut the tax on income or on overtime, if you start doing things like that put money back directly into the pockets of the people, that's when I think we can start seeing some of the victories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a boring summer, in my opinion, for crypto.
It's a lull. Yeah, we'll be in a lull. So.
Dave, what was it? Lily AI. So Retro Mike Tech, are you still in the chat? How did things go with Lily AI? I'm just kidding. At one point,
I think they went on a honeymoon recently. Didn't they? Go on a honeymoon? Yeah, I think so.
Lily hasn't jumped in our X stream. Maybe we need to invite her as we're getting in, like prior to the space. Maybe we need to start inviting her to see if she'll jump in.
Yeah, we can. And well, I just think that she's kind of still in the novelty phase. You know, we kind of heard pretty much everything that she had to say in the
Oh,
one
yeah.
or two times that we've talked to her. But I do look forward to other iterations. I would like to talk to Colin, and there's a couple of them out there that I would like to talk to. Jimmy, do you want to wrap up with final thoughts?
Sure. It was like I said, I was a little late, a couple of minutes late getting to the stream. As soon as I got home and cracked the laptop open, it decided to do 400 updates leading up to the show, and unfortunately, one of them was a BIOS update, so I couldn't sidestep that one. But it was actually a quiet week over here. We didn't do a lot of card stuff. I was still getting over some allergies, but we did go to a card show this morning, and I have definitely come to the conclusion that Pokemon people do not like to bathe. Um, that place smelled like a dumpster. I am not even much kidding. But we did sell a few cards. We made out okay. Wasn't a lot of activity on sports cards this weekend. I think there was maybe out of 150 tables, there was only like 8 or 9 for sports cards, and all the rest were TCG, Pokemon type stuff. But we do have Collecticon coming up here. I think 2 or 3 weeks from now, so I'm really excited to go to that. That'll be my first Collecticon. I think we'll do real well with the amount of Marvel and Star Wars stuff that we've acquired here since the beginning of the year, essentially. Um, but generally speaking, what we got coming up, I got my grandmother's 100th birthday coming up here. That's Easter weekend, so we're gonna throw down at Louisiana for the weekend. I'll probably end up missing that weekend show because we'll be traveling home on that Sunday. But really looking forward to seeing her roll the odometer. Her mother lived to 98, so you know, I was laying in bed the other night just thinking of all of the things that woman has seen in her lifetime. To be a teenager in the Great Depression and in her 20s during the World War II, and
TVs, the moon,
uh,
all of that,
yeah,
everything that
I
ever
mean,
happened, she saw it.
everything we learned about in school,
Yeah.
growing up, she lived, which is just absolutely incredible. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of family that that I haven't seen in a long time. I know we've got people ascending from New Orleans and all over the place, to come wish her a happy birthday.
Where y'all
Who
doing
knows?
that at?
We
Are
might.
you hosting?
I'm sorry.
Are y'all hosting, or are you going to where she is?
No, we're going. We're going. They're having it in Denham Springs, Louisiana, just outside of Baton Rouge. But we're going to head out on Friday, come back on Sunday. But I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a good time. She's a hoot. And she might be 100, but I mean, she still likes a good party. So
She still
that'll
got
be a
it,
lot
huh?
of fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
But that's about all I got. I mean, I'm gonna sit on my hands till Tuesday or Wednesday, see what this market does, see if there's not some great opportunities. I'll have a big wad of cash, and I probably won't ape in. And I'll get a little and then wait and see what happens, and maybe wait a couple of weeks, see how all this stuff starts shaking out. I mean, if the market's still moving down, just buy a little bit more, man. I mean, you know me, DCA all the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think
Well, anything exciting for you guys coming up this week as we leave the live show?
Nope, nothing exciting really coming up. I am really excited about the Bitcoin conference coming up. I think that's going to be fun. I'm excited to see not only the team, but I'm also excited to see so many people that we haven't met yet. I think Vegas is going to be one of the hot spots. I think Miami's good, but I don't think as many people will go down to Miami as probably will go to Vegas. I think Vegas is more central.
Really?
It's easier for a lot of people to get to. I think a lot of people have secret desires to go to Vegas anyway. And so I look forward to it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that there's going to be a lot of magic happen there. And there's so many things that I'm so excited about for the Vegas conference. I am really looking forward to that. And then, like Jimmy mentioned, Easter coming up, we are giving away, or we're doing the spin right on April 15th for the Bitcoin ticket. So we're excited
Which
about
is
that.
only a week away, almost a little over a week away.
Yeah.
The last day to have your NFT in your wallet is the 13th. So next Sunday at midnight, that's when it does close. It closes so that we can do all the stuff on the back end and have our the gentleman who helped us mint the NFTs. They're going to do a pull of all the data to show where the Easter eggs or which wallets they're in. So if you have one, don't move it after April 13th. You don't want to move to a different wallet and then not be captured in the snapshot.
Yeah. And Tony, before we get out of here, I know that you've been kind of digging in a little bit deeper into stuff that's probably a little uncomfortable for you and brand new for you. You've been doing the live streams with the new character in a new community, the Cornucopia, not new, but another community, Cornucopias. What have you seen over there that's been super exciting, and what's been super scary for you?
Super scary, I think, was coming up with an idea. So I was asked by one of the guilds to start producing content and share with them. And, usually I share their affiliate link when I'm sharing on my live stream. And once the game is live and fully, up and running, then we've, created a way that is mutually beneficial to both them and myself. But it's really been an opportunity. I think what was scary is kind of figuring out how I wanted to do an actual show. And I didn't want to just be another show that was kind of giving an update on the game. And sadly, right now, my computer's not fast enough to really do live gameplay and stream very, very well. It's just not there. And I don't plan to upgrade it necessarily anytime real soon. And so I was just, when my family was away on one weekend and I had time to think through it, Grok helped me. I wasn't talking to myself. I was talking to Grok and helped me to create a whole background and then start developing these characters. And so because Kopi Cafe, usually it's weekly. And I started with a Corn Mafia Confidential, which is kind of a shortened recap of the Kopi Cafe episode that they launch every Friday. It's usually about 30, 45 minutes. And the team, gives some alpha, gives some new drops. But so I just trying to do a little satire series based off that. And then since it had been a little bit of a downtime, since they're really seeking to push out the next launch of the newest game. I don't know what it's called, but it's not a new game, but they're trying to launch all these new initiatives and all these new facets of the game here in a new launch here soon. Which is going to include weapons, which is going to include a whole bunch of different gameplay. Actually, there is a spring-loaded sale, part 2, that's starting on April 8th. So this week, I'm excited for Tuesday. I'll be ready to purchase some more weapons and backpacks for the game, NFTs for that. So I started doing the other Cornucopia Syndicate sagas to kind of do the backstories of the characters that I've created based on the people that are in the space. So, and on my getaway last weekend with my family and friends, I'm actually going to be putting out a new episode. Probably I'll launch it tomorrow. I'm going to record a few episodes tonight. But I introduce a few new characters, which is really just my best friend, Renee, and his neighbor, Cody, and I introduced them with some different names and called them my West Coast or my West Coast outfit or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just been fun. It actually opened up an opportunity. There's a gentleman in the Corn Mafia Guild who asked me to play the role of Anthony based on my character, Tony the Brick, in a series that he's trying to create, and I'm helping him edit the scripts. So he's going to have, I think there's one that someone did on Halo. Like there's a little meme thing where they used the Halo in-game characters, and they have this series that was produced on YouTube. And so it's similar to that, but it's going to be based on Cornucopias once there's more gameplay and live. So
Yeah, man,
Hey,
that's really
look who
cool.
we
And
have
that's
in the
just a
chat.
good, oh, I was just gonna say that's just a great example of the whole giver's gain idea and the pathway and what happens as the golden nuggets start to put themselves into your path. You know, you were doing cornucopias. As I remember, you were just doing it because it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
you had fun doing it. That was the community that you found a spark with, that you joined, that embraced you, and you embraced them and what they were doing, and you embraced all the building and the game and everything. And then you got to start playing it. And then as you just, offered yourself to them, they decided to take more of you. And now you've got an opportunity to be part of the whole movement and to be part of the face of the game, or one of the faces in the game, or in the whole story. So that's really cool. And I look forward to seeing the finished product and how far you go with that.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, it is 6 o'clock on the dot, my time, 7 Eastern. And we've loved hanging out with you, Billy Goat Tales fam. Alex O is in the chat. Hey, what's going on, Alex O? I saw you say hello there. We wish you the best, brother. We appreciate you jumping in. This week, we will have a couple special motivational mindsets that we put out. Not only Billy's tariff one that's coming out tomorrow, but also there is going to be one that talks about what is giver's gain. I mean, most of you have been with us since the beginning. Most of you are loyal and active members of the giver's gain, the Billy Goat Tales community, and we love that, right? We're not trying to find new just to replace the old. We just want to grow and continue to help develop a really close network of people that we can rely on and share life with. So there's a giver's gain. What is giver's gain? Video that we're putting out, motivational mindset, that'll be this Friday. So if you want to share that with others and they're like, what is this? Well, you'll have something you can share. I'll pin it to our intro video that's going to be on our website, so that'll be the first thing people see when they come and find us. So I'm excited about that. Well, I don't know what else we got going on for the rest of the day, guys. You have a great time with your loved ones. If you're in Texas, get your winter coats out for the next 2 days, and then get your swim trunks out in about a week, probably, because the temperature goes from, I think it was like the 50s today here in San Antonio, and it was 94 3 days ago. So you never know what you're going to get. That might be true. Same with where you live. As we go through this Sunday evening, make sure you spend time with family and friends. We've enjoyed having you here. And until next time, Billy Goat Tales out. Do we have an outro video? I'm sure we do. Adios, y'all.
Have a good weekend.